Okay, Facebook Live, your blog, okay. And finally, number nine, podcasts. Anki will like this one, podcast, because she's a podcast lady, right? Now, I've been tinkering around the edges with podcasts the last 6 to 9 months, something like that. And I was all ready to go with the podcast strategy at the beginning of this year. But then I got interrupted. I got involved with other things, and I just put it to one side. Thought, oh, it's all too hard. Trying to do it myself, all by myself, right? So I just put it to one side. But I've recently recommitted, and you will be seeing the evidence of that in the not too distant future. I'm looking forward to that. But why do I like podcasts? Well, it's way better than Facebook, a piece of Facebook content. A podcast is like an extended piece of content. So once again, it's great for those people, that 1%, the 2%, the 1 to 5% of people that are hungry for more knowledge about this topic that you've made it your business to specialize. They're not going to get it on Facebook because Facebook is about short attention spans. But they've been conditioned to think that if it's on a podcast is going to last for half an hour. So that's in depth, isn't it? Half an hour, sometimes an hour, right? And it's for more serious people. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the serious people. You want these people to go onto your podcast. You want these people to read your to read an extended blog post or a long-form blog post, or to watch a powerful instructional video on YouTube, for instance. That's what you want, more depth. You're wanting the people who are hungry for the depth, right? And that's only 1 to 5%. That's it. Forget about the other 95%. Who cares? Let them go and waste their time with someone else. That's my attitude. I don't care. I just don't care. And I'm becoming more and more ruthless about that group of people as time goes by. Just totally ruthless, right? It doesn't mean to say I'm not going to be pleasant to them, but it's going to be pleasant 30 seconds and then bye. That's it. It's my life, and it's your life too. And you want to focus on the people that you know you can help and who are hungry for a solution to the problem, okay? And you can help solve that problem. So the podcast, yes, a little bit more on that before we close. Yeah, very powerful. Yeah. G'day, Tony. Good to see you, mate. My old friend Tony from Ireland. Yeah. I'm being bitten. All right. Gave it a scratch. So the podcasts are good. Now, I'm going to give you 2 great examples. People say, does a podcast work? Well, not in the short term, but in the medium term, for sure, they work. They work. Now, earlier this year, I was in podcast mode, not producing podcasts myself, but attending other people's podcasts, right? So I'm on the mailing list of a guy. This guy's a pretty good LinkedIn marketer, right? His name's Dennis Brown. I like him. Okay, I've had a few chats with him on and off over the last few years. Anyway, he's got a podcast series. He's big on podcasts as well. And he sent an email, because I'm on his email list, right? So that's what the smart people do. I'm on his email list. And it was about the replay of his latest podcast. And it was with a lady called Rachel. I think it was Rachel Miller, right? Now, this lady is pretty good at building tribes on Facebook pages using Facebook ads and all these complicated strategies. Anyway, I ended up, as a result of listening to this interview where he was interviewing her, I ended up buying her course. That was $1,000, right? And then about a week or 2 later, I ended up on another podcast, and this was Ryan Dice, his podcast. Now, Ryan Dice is a big-time marketer, right? Online marketer. Yeah. He's built a heck of a business, Ryan Dice. I've got a lot of respect for the guy. And he has a podcast series, and I attended another one, and this is with a lady called Molly, right? and she's a maniac for Facebook Lives and bots and all this sort of stuff. And I wanted to learn more about bots and also how to become more effective at doing Facebook Lives. And so I ended up buying her course called Camera Confidence. That was another grand. From podcasts, right? So she got me as a customer, and the other lady, Rachel, got me as a customer from 2 consecutive podcasts. So there's $2,000 of revenue that went to those ladies, $1,000 each, right? $2,000 from a podcast. And all they had to do is give up some of their time to get interviewed. How's that? And I wonder how many other people bought her courses, their courses, from those podcasts. I wonder how many others. It could have been tens of them, could have been 100 of them. I don't know. I have no idea. But I know that Ryan Dice has got a very big audience, and the other guy has a big audience as well, the LinkedIn guy. So do podcasts work? Yeah, they do, because I'm a living example of I've paid money as a result of listening to a podcast, two different podcasts. I've paid money. I've paid thousands of dollars, right? So they do work. But of course, the people who have built their podcast platform, they've built it up over a period of time, okay? So Dennis Brown, he's probably been running his podcast for 3 or 4 years. And Ryan Dice would have been running his for, I imagine, at least 5 years, because he's been around for 10, 15 years, something like that. But it doesn't mean to say that you can't get traction early or fast, reasonably fast, but don't expect it to happen like next week. It's not going to happen. But within a couple of months of consistent effort, I think some kind of podcasting program will work really well. Okay, so that's it. So that's it. I'm done, folks. So let me just read them out again in summary. We've got, number 1, write a book and either publish it yourself or get it published by someone. Write an article and get it published, online publication or offline. Become a blogger, a guest blogger on someone else's blog, so you piggyback off of their audience, right? Number 4, media interviews. If you've got an interesting story, an angle, that's all they're looking for, something different, right? Number 5, other social media platforms such as Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. Number 6, free reports. Create a free report every week. 1 free report. It only takes you 2 to 4 hours for each report. You build up your assets, your digital assets, and then offer your first one. And then you build your email list from that, right? So you offer it on Facebook, you build your email list, and your email list then, or your email autoresponder series directs people to your blog if you've got one, right? And then they get exposed to all of that content. You see, this is smart marketing. All right, so free reports can help build your tribe, for sure. Facebook Lives was number 7. Facebook Lives, I know that some people here have done a few. Others have yet to start. Okay, well, look, even if you just run 1 every 2 weeks. 1 a week would be better, but every 2, because it's the regularity that I think makes a difference. So 1 a week. I only do 1 a week now. Okay, this week will be 2. So I'm doing 1 with this group. And then tomorrow I'll do 1 via my personal profile. I haven't even decided on the topic yet. I've got to figure it out soon. Okay, so Facebook Lives. Your blog, mention that. Your blog is a great way to build an audience. And then finally, podcasts. And you can, if you interview someone, they interview you, great. You interview someone, they will share the podcast because it makes them look good with their audience. Right? So you now have exposure to their audience. Okay, you're interviewing them, you're putting them on a bit of a pedestal, but you know, there's always rub-off benefit for the interviewer. Okay? I've interviewed people. I've interviewed digital nomads, people like that. And then I've promoted the interview to my tribe. Okay, so I've done that. So, yeah, great podcast. You interview someone, someone interviews you, or a lesson. That's the third type of content that can work well with a podcast. But it's always good if you can interview someone else because you can get exposure to their audience. See? It's working smarter, not always harder. All right, folks, that's basically it.